live. What's up, everybody? Hey, I'm Josh Herman, Gnomon CCO here for Art Jam today. If you've never been to Art Jam, we're going to make some shit on stream today. Today, I'm going to be making some creatures. We're going to do a community stream today. Basically, what that's going to mean is I'm going to take suggestions from you, and I'm going to make it in the computer today. I'm going to show you really quickly what we did last stream and the stream before. So we ended up making a head out of a 3D scan store head, which used a lot of existing stuff, but I basically sculpted it more or less from their base mesh and then put on some stuff on there. I'll probably use this for a project or a character in the future. I was pretty happy with how this one turned out, and I thought about spending all stream today, making this, putting it in Marmoset, putting it in Unreal, and kind of rendering it and doing some look dev on it. But I thought for a stream that would be kind of boring, so we're not going to do that today. Instead, we're going to sculpt a character or several characters from scratch using this, oh my god, impossibly white sphere. We'll use a sphere, and we're going to be sculpting from scratch today. So if you got any suggestions on creatures or characters or anything that you would like to see today, let me know. I'm probably going to spend about roughly 30 minutes on every character here, so if you've got a suggestion, throw it out, and I will do my best to sculpt it. In the meantime, I'm just going to get started and start doing some shape exploration. Turning symmetry on, turning it to the very bottom level of subdivision. I'm going to delete the higher level subdivisions, and we're going to get started. I'm going to use my snake hook brush, which basically is a really, really powerful move brush. So when I pull it, this is the classic things you've probably seen in ZBrush before, but pulling stuff around and all that. There is some music playing. It is pretty low on my side. Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet for you. I can barely even hear it, but it seems like it gets a little louder on the stream side. All right, so we're going to do some heads. Make an evil candy creature, a box of chocolates from YouTube says. What kind of evil candy do you, what kind of candy is the most evil candy? That's the question we have right now. I'll go with, we got Rockman as another suggestion. We got an evil candy creature. What's the most evil candy? And we'll start running from that. Rockman. What kind of a rock? Like the thing? Rockman? Is that a peep? Armando, are you saying it's a peep? A peep, like because you like peeps or you don't like peeps? Tweets? I'm pretty sure they're called a peep. Like the thing, but more and bigger rocks. That's actually somewhat similar to another character that I'm already working on, in case you haven't seen it already. I do another stream on Tuesdays, so yesterday morning. And I'm doing a really large golem, basically. I could probably just load the character. But I'll show you my Instagram really fast so you can see it while I pull up the file. So I've been working on this character. Doing some lighting tests in Unreal 5. I was doing that all yesterday. So doing some lighting tests on this really huge, basically rock creature, golem creature. And I'll load that up real fast so you can see what that is before we really get going in this today. So a little bit more maybe art directed than it is like the thing, like Rocky, but this is one of the other characters that I've been working on as well. And then I guess I'll show you the other one from the previous character. That archetype series is going through 12 characters. We're in the second one, close to the end of the second one. I'll actually be wrapping it up next week. And then the first one was the creator, which is sort of a more smaller, much smaller creature. But you'll see it'll load, and it has a kind of a companion character that kind of rides along with it or sits with it. Let's do this real quick. Subtool Master, Fill, M, flat color. You see this has a color filled in. That's what I'm trying to do. Fill, material. It's going to go through all the subtools and pop. It's basically going to fill them all with flat color, and eventually get to those. I just want to make sure that it's all good. Saying one of my streams is having connection issues. So apologies if that is you. All right, let's get into this. So this is the other. What the hell? Why did this one all of a sudden get filled? There, that's fine. This is the other of the 4 or 12 characters. So this was character 1, and then I'll just snapshot this character here. Character 1, character 2. They are not at all at scale, but you can kind of get a vibe of who they were. It would be cool to see a cyborg for one of your characters, metal, lower jaw, organic upper head kind of a thing. Yeah, I agree. That'd be cool. I like that. I like that idea. So today we're going to be sculpting some characters on the stream. The first suggestion, one of the first ones that came in that I liked was the evil candy creature. So we're taking suggestions for what the most evil candy is right now. So right now we've got Peeps as a suggestion, and we've got candy corn has to be the most disrespected candy of all time. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I personally hate candy corn, so I'm on the side of whoever else doesn't like that. All right. Candy creature. Somebody else said a peep. Armando said a peep. I don't like peeps. +1 to candy corn. Candy corn, I don't know how you make a candy corn. Like if it's supposed to be like scary or like funny. Because it's just kind of like... I don't know, it's just so... I don't have another word for it, but I think candy corn is just lame. Candy corn's lame. We're starting with our candy corn shape. We'll do a couple of these creatures today. I'm probably not going to spend more than 30 minutes on each of them. At least that's the goal. I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna duplicate this, and then I'm gonna move it. I don't like using this widget. I like using this one. That'll give me another piece. Let's like just, I don't know, rotate this thing as a starting point. Maybe it's got some weird neck in there. We'll probably dynamesh this all together. Just do some shapes. Candy corn sets up really false expectations. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of tastes you expect, like, I love corn. I love corn. I could eat a whole plate and many ears of corn, but I feel like you get candy corn and you're like, oh, this is going to be good. And you eat it and it tastes awful. And then to me, it always, for some reason, like devolves into like this terrible, disgusting powder within seconds. It's like this disgusting powder that you're eating. I don't get it. People who give out candy corn. Does anybody or did anybody give out candy corn on Halloween? Like your house. Did your house ever give out candy corn? Like genuinely being like, this is what people want. I would hope not. That's all I'm saying. I'll take a lot of these corn kernel shapes and see what we can make out of this thing. As soon as you eat candy corn, you have a taste for razor blade apples. Yeah. I remember that being younger and being like, you gotta watch every piece of candy. Was it opened? I'm sure that still happens. I'm sure it's worse now. Opening every piece of candy, checking, like nobody was allowed to give fruit because it was like, you know, you can't, maybe these are like its little legs. There's a razor blade somewhere in there. There's always the story, and maybe it's happened to you, and if it does, I'm so sorry, but there's always the story of like, yeah, like my friend's uncle ate an apple, and it had a razor blade in it, and he had to go to the hospital. That's how it always went. I never saw it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen, I guess. The Trade Federation battle droids kind of look like candy corn bad guys. Yeah, that's actually true from the head shape, huh? All right, let's just like take this, and I'm gonna just kind of do this little, I'm gonna make a leg, I think. take this one. We'll just take and do kind of the same thing. Oh, that didn't go at all where I wanted it to. There we go. I'm going to dynamesh this together in a sec, but I'm going to pull out this little tail. Too high. Let's go 64. I feel like I'd have like some little tail that goes like down. Candy corn was an animal that'd be ashamed of itself. So today we're making creatures from the community, meaning if you got a suggestion on a creature, on a theme, let me know, put it in the chat, and we'll start it after this one. This is our candy corn creature. Now obviously a key defining fact of candy corn is the coloration. So I'm going to have to get into that probably pretty quick. Oh, just looking at candy corn makes me angry. What is this? What is this terrible trick? That is disgusting. Can't believe somebody would... Alright, so white, orange, yellow. I'm gonna hide that as fast as possible. Let's dynamesh this. Let's like do this. Let's do this. And let's like pinch that in a little bit. Go in. It's gonna walk on these little pincer legs. Masked it the wrong way. There we go. Let's do the same kind of thing here. Put it to the outside of that. Whoop. There we go. Dynamesh that together. Dynamesh all this together. I'm going to deflate that. And then we're going to get into some anatomy. Great. This can go hide. This can... I don't know really what that is, but we'll deal with it later. And put it in perspective. So far we have a little, this is like a little, kind of like the, what's this called? The head crab. It's like a head crab. All right. Let's move this little thing here around. I don't like where this is at. A couple seconds ago it was nothing. That's one thing I learned really early in my career. I worked at Legacy Effects where they did a lot of 3D concept art. You can't be afraid to just like make big shapes and just get it out there. It's just like when you're blocking out like a traditional sculpture, you know, just don't be afraid to move quick and make big mistakes because you can adjust them later, and don't feel like every step of the process has to be perfect. The faster you see the end result, the faster you can get there. So, all right, let's merge this together. Merge, down, great. Dynamesh. It's a little higher than I wanted. That'll do. That'll do. Lice. Yes, this is like a lice. If candy corn was a bug, it would be lice. Nobody wants it, and everybody's afraid of you if you have it. Oh. All right, so let's give them some color really quick. Somebody better give me some suggestions after this that are not candy corn, because I'm going to need a change of vibe. And like I said, even just looking at candy corn kind of annoys me. So let's get something else after this. You're a bit late. What am I sculpting? We're doing community character creature creation today. So I am sculpting a candy corn candy corn creature. Candy corn creature. And I gotta get an orange. The most vile creature ever created. Creature, Paladin of Light. What do you think what does the Paladin of Light look like? What does this look like? Give me some interesting thoughts on that one. I'm curious. These little legs. This is how you know the candy creature, corn creature. There's got to be a better name in there, but I really can't think of it right now. That's how you know it's coming towards you when you hear the clickety clack of its little nubs walking on the ground. They also sometimes have, I was just looking, they sometimes will have brown, so I'll probably use brown. A massive guy with a sword and a shield. Cow creature from Avatar. Oh, this one, yeah, I could see that a little bit. A book. I can make a book, I guess. All right, so let's get that brown in here. That's good. That's a pretty candy corny brown. And maybe it has like a... I don't know what this is going to be exactly. I feel like it's always at the top. Sometimes it replaces the yellow. You know, nothing like replacing a friendly color with brown. I guess it's supposed to be chocolate. I don't know if it's chocolate. I made that up. All right, so we're putting some of this in here. We got 15 more minutes. Let's sculpt it. Can I make a vegetable that looks like a corn, but it's really a sugary treat? Sounds very reminiscent to what we're doing now. All right. Now let's sculpt. Now that we've got our base mesh, we've got our colors that are appropriately matched to our disgusting candy. Let's get in here and sculpt. So I blocked this out. Maybe we'll do... Yeah, there we go. Get some lines in here. Looking for some shapes. It's got to be, it's clearly a bug. All right, we talked about that. Or it being a bug. I'm going to turn off the coloration and go to white. I can always hit my hotkey to turn this on if I need to. Sometimes it's easier to just find those forms without it. Do not need you to save this. Thank you. Let's grab this. Do a little praying mantis style head or something, a little bug. So I'm going to invert that. I'm going to inflate that pretty heavily. We are not going to care about what our mesh looks like today. Get some pincers in there. Could I have some scales from candy corns? Yes, we could definitely do some quick scales that are candy corns. I like that idea. Using the clay buildup brush, in case anybody's wondering. I don't go into the menus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are my brushes. Let's get this a little bit of like something up here. Let's kind of push this, give it this like little back area over here. It's like a little, what's this? What's the word for this? The back leg, the haunch? Is that a thing that people say? Haunches. With bugs, it's pretty easy. You just make like a little line here. Inflate where the joint's going to be, and then just draw a little line. Nice and easy. It's been cold in LA, but it is super hot in my garage because it has a massive window basically looking into it. Sweating all day. It's awful. And it's not even summer. It's going to be terrible this summer. All right, let's see. Looks like an ant. That's okay. It's a candy corn bug. We'll get into that a little bit more in a second. Any more suggestions, by the way? In about 10 minutes, we're going to choose a new creature, a new character. Creatures are easier to do than characters. We had a Paladin of Light. That's kind of a hard one to do in 30 minutes. Just making a character with a sword and a shield. A lot of pieces to make. Sometimes I will actually go back and reuse these sculpts. Meaning I'll come back and just like, I actually don't mind the shape that I have here, so I might, eventually use this for something else. So I actually find that doing these little sketches can be really helpful. Just to explore shapes or try something different, or we'll use this snake brush. Let's see, if I do this, and then I turn on RGB, and then I turn it to white, does that paint? Oh yeah, there we go. Cthulhu. Got a Cthulhu. Not a bad choice. Classic monster. Was there ever a time in history when candy corn was like the #1 candy? Or was it always pretty much like the one that nobody wanted? Windigo. Windigo's good. I haven't heard that one in a while. Let's do some research to kind of refresh my brain on Windigos. We can do that though. Windigo can be our... Windigo will be creature number 2. I think it was you that said it. I like Windigo. I think this tail is sorely lacking. It could be adding a lot more to the character. Especially when we get in here. Oh yeah, I gotta get some of this. Put some of those spikes in there now. What is a Windigo? That's a great question. Before we jump into it too far, let's say Windigo. Windigo is basically it's a Norse creature, right? What is it? East Coast. Kind of like this. Horns, antlers, fur. You can try to do that next. What's a good program for recording 3D snips? When you say 3D snips, what are you thinking about with 3D snips? Do you mean like a screenshot? Do you mean like... What are you thinking when you say 3D snips? Like a video recording? Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen, but I kind of like what's happening there.
It's strange how some printed words can evoke emotion.
The old versus the new.
Like a quick 3D pan video of a model. I mean, you could always do a screen recorder. I use Camtasia, which is fine. Just be careful of doing very long videos. I was doing Archetype yesterday and I ran out of disk space because the 1 hour long screen recorder that I was doing, the video file that it created was 42 megabytes. 42 megabytes is how big the video was for an hour-long piece of footage. It's insane. It should not be allowed. This is like a Pokemon. I think we've made a Pokemon. Let's make Pokemon today. If Candy Corn was a Pokemon name, what would it be? It would obviously be like a level, like the base evolution of some Pokemon. At least I would think so. Give it like a little crown of these little things.
The old versus the new.
Come in here, get a little bit of this going down. I don't know what what a Candy Corn's Pokemon name would be. Like Cornucopia or something. That would be like the ultimate level edition. It's already giving you chills. It should. It should. I've made scary creatures before, but this is the worst. Alright, we're going to get a little more intense with this thing. Let's smooth that out. Come in here to our brushes real quick. Use my smooth, stronger brush. That will make it much faster to do that motion. And then I'm going to come in here, make sure that's off. Go into my this, turn on my spray, turn down the coloration on the spray so that when I actually paint, there's a little bit of speckling to it. So we can get a little bit of this in here. And I'm going to come in here real quick. We're going to fill. Actually, we're going to fill. We're going to toy plastic. I'm going to paint with my aim on. And I'm just going to do it in here and see what this looks like. I'm going to have to switch away from this material afterwards to see what actually happened. But we'll see. Well, I mean, I'll be honest. That didn't do what I wanted. But I was hoping it would just be shiny like in that area alone. But I guess because I was using a spray brush, it really went over the top. I'm also kind of low poly on this. But we can come in here with a black. Candice. I like that one too. Yeah, I like that one a lot actually. Some of this in here. All right, we have 1 minute left on this creature. We will probably come back to these, let's be honest, depending on how much time we have, but we'll see. I could go on this. Well, no, I could do this all day. Not this creature. I don't think I could hang with this creature all day. Not because I don't like it, it's the coloring. I could color shift this and be like, yeah, there's something here. I can run with this, and I probably will later. All right, y'all, we need to do our second creature. So we said our second creature today was going to be the Windigo. Windigo is actually, oh wow, I couldn't even say the word. The Windigo is actually going to be kind of difficult because it has a lot of detail. What did we say? Candice? The Y, I liked that a lot. And I think it was this one. This one. and Candice. That's the creature we all just made together. Congrats, everybody. If looking at this makes you angry, if it evokes an emotional response, first off, it should do that. Second, the inspiration, in case you're just joining, was this terrifying creature right here. So don't get upset. Okay, so let's continue with the second one. We said we are going to do the Windigo. The Windigo is this kind of a classic creature. So I like this one as inspiration. We're looking at long, hulking, lanky, furry, skeletal, disgusting in the face, horns. I think we've identified a lot of our real key ingredients to this thing. So how should we start? Starting with a sphere is going to take a long time. So we're going to import. Should we import a whole character? Should we import a character? I have an idea. All right, we're going to go to our not import, I want to load. I'm going to load a tool. This one's going to take a second. Asset library. I'm going to load one of the 3D scan stores. We're going to load a body. I'm going to load a male. I don't know what this character is going to look like, just so you know. Great. This is a big file, so it's going to take a second. There we go. We're going to start with this. With this dude. Oh, okay. And then we're also going to take, I'm going to load another one. Star, you just add a star. Yep, there we go. I'm looking for something, but I can't seem to find it. Aha! This is a model that Zach Petrock made a long time ago. It is amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple quick things. First, delete unnecessary things for our Windigo. Sorry, this is not 100% anatomically accurate. We got this thing here. Great. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go merge visible. Great. Come in here to this dude. Go down to a lower subdivision level. Well, that's so close. Because it's 8 million polys. Actually, it was 32 million polys. Okay, we're going to delete the eyes and all this other stuff. In fact, we're going to delete a couple higher resolutions. Great. We can actually keep those eyeballs because they will probably be terrifying. What's the general vibe and attitude for using scans at a studio? As long as you have the commercial license for it, it's fine, but a lot of them you need the commercial license in order to actually use it. So otherwise you'll get in big trouble from legal. So I'm going to take this, and we're going to come in here, and we'll delete this. Just getting all this extra stuff out of here that we don't really need right away. And then I'm going to append this. Oh wow, you're so large. Something masked. Alright. We're going to use a little bit of this and combine. We'll try to make a Windigo in the next 25 minutes. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my symmetry. Try to pose this just a little bit so that it's closer. And this is mostly just going to be the idea. I don't think we're going to get there that quickly. I probably will pull in this in a minute, so actually let's use that as like the base. Or it would be better to use the guy as the base. I think it'll be creepier if we use this thing. Yeah, it will be. All right. Mhm. I'm sorry, ears, but we can't have you. Oh, I thought it was symmetrical. It is not. Looks like a werewolf right now. Looks like Lupin. Alright, I'm gonna have to get some head shape going on in here. And I'm also gonna come in here. I don't need to see the texture of this character. It'll actually be kind of probably a nice surprise if we don't. So I can just kind of also just, at this point, treat it like it's a sculpt. Looks just like you. Oh, okay. That's nice. Probably pulling that skull and some of that stuff here in a minute. Since it's not symmetrical, it's going to be a challenge to sculpt a face from the future. Definitely some of this anatomy is a little intense for what we're doing. And we probably could also use it as like a guideline. Oh, my focal shift is off. Now we gotta change our pose. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants your Windigo standing around like a Slender Man. Not like that either, though. Okay. Now we're getting there. The hardest part about doing a full character quick, like this kind of thing, is you kind of have to like just go as fast as you can, and there's going to be moments where it's like, this looks terrible, like this looks really bad. Like right now it's fine, it's getting there, but you know, there's going to be moments where you're like, this looks really hideous. So you kind of just have to trust that hopefully you'll get there. And I'll tell you from experience, you don't always get there. Windigo's a pretty classic creature, though, I feel like, right? Like, what's like the Windigo and the Yeti are pretty linked. I feel like there's something about that that feels linked. I don't know exactly what it would be, though. I'm gonna take this anatomy. I'm just gonna chisel it down. Smooth it. I'm using that smooth, stronger brush. I'm gonna try to make some like anatomy that's like going up and in, and then this I'm gonna pull down. Not to create like wrinkles, but like to create a more slender, not necessarily lupine, even though that's the word I'm saying, frame. All right. guess we did abandon our Pokemon idea, didn't we? The Windigo is a Pokemon. We could go back to that. Well, if it was a Pokemon, it's probably going to have a bigger head. And bigger hands. Creepy long fingers, I feel like, is what I would want. What is it about really long fingers that is creepy? When they get close to you, just the thought of that kind of bothers me. What was that? There was like an old short. Salad fingers? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? That was like a newgrounds.com thing. Make a claw hands. Yeah, exactly. You bought your first tablet a while ago to start messing with Blender for now. Can't figure out what functions to put on the macros. Any source suggestions or suggestions at all? I don't use macros on my tablet, so I can't really give you any advice there. My suggestion would be to just create your own hotkeys. And I think that will probably get you further than setting yourself up with a tablet. The reason I say that is also like if you ever go to another location, you're always going to have your tablet. And that can kind of be a bit of a crutch. You don't always want to have the same equipment and remember all your stuff, and that can be an annoyance. So unless you're trying to like make a mobile setup, which I've done or attempted to do, where you're going to work off of mostly a laptop and a tablet, I've done that and it works okay, but it's not always the best. We gotta just kind of push this a little bit. Let's push this. I think I said hulking, and this is more just lanky. And maybe we'll do like a little squatting pose. I think that would be helpful. Oh. That was the Pokemon version. Squatting meaning like, whenever I've done this pose a couple times and it always just makes me, like it feels like the characters, hide these arms. They just kind of feel uncomfortable. I'm not sure I love this playlist either. There was a serial killer that had very large fingers. Really creepy. It sounds really creepy. Alright, so we're gonna go like this. We're gonna warp. Oh, that was a little far, wasn't it? We'll do it one rotation at a time. Probably use my other sculpt for that. This may not be my best one. This one may not be my best. Just trying to get too much in there. Too many details in here to try to do so quickly. Because I don't even have the horns yet. And the symmetry, the lack of symmetry is really screwing me. this one's not so good. That's okay. I feel like if I had more time, this one would be fun though. You can see if I can do anything with this thing. Ooh, here we go. We'll bring in some of these. See if this makes it creepy, or does this just make it really dumb looking? Or does it just look like a really bad 3D is the question. Right now, bad 3D. That's too weird of a piece. I was hoping that I could maybe morph this around, like I could have, I guess I could still try to do something that's like, that's already better, isn't it? The problem with sculpting a character that has so much like exposed bone is that you're spending a lot of time sculpting the bone to make sure it looks like bone before it does anything else. Or before you can do anything else. I mean, you can't really focus on design. You have to focus on the proportions and the bones and all that fun stuff before you get to the actual thing itself. Of course, I could come in here. This is very Beetlejuice. Yes, this is super Beetlejuice. Oh no, we don't want that. There we go. Put this out. Maybe just do a quick thing. Oh, okay. Nope. From here. So you can kind of see here the difference between working with a base mesh or a mesh, a finished model is really what this is. That was closer, much closer to the intent. Warping that around is a lot easier to do than something that's like taking a pre-made person, just because it's got such closer proportions and the overall ideal of what you're actually going to be sculpting is so much closer. Zach's model, which is what I'm using, also has tons of really, really great proportions in it that I can work from and design lines and elements in it that I'm working from. I also don't have a problem duplicating the whole model like what I'm going to do right now. Yeah, that previous one was a pretty big failure. What am I doing? Hiding this, inverting that. So I have this piece now by itself, and I'm going to delete hidden on this one since there's things to do there. Okay, great. Delete hidden. That means I now have a separate piece. What I'm going to do with this is I can make that antler pretty easily, and I can probably just keep like messing with this thing. I bet you if I put those eyeballs in there, then it would look exactly, even more like when the, what was it, the Beetlejuice character. This one I'm going to Dynamesh. Okay, needs to go higher than that. Or actually, I'll Dynamesh it, but then I'll show you, instead of doing Dynamesh, I'm just going to turn on Sculptris Pro. Never used this feature. It is sweet. Should be working from other angles though, so it's not super flat. it was the husband or the wife. I don't remember which one it was. It was the husband. We obviously just kind of pulled the model real quick to get here, but it kind of works. It's not exactly what I would want, but it's a starting point. It's better than that, working with that other model. This is one thing you need to know about Sculptris Pro. If you're using it, the size of your brush really dictates on how it works, meaning if I'm doing a small element, you see how easily I can pull out small elements, but if I try to do a large adjustment, it actually changes the entire model there to be that a smaller set of polygons. So you need to be careful how you use it. It's still okay to go back to a normal, you know, arrangement. I think this needs like 1,000,000 more of these. We'll focus on that first. But already, this thing, much better. Sculptris Pro is super cool. You would have never been able to do this type of work in ZBrush 3, 4, 5 years ago before this was implemented. You could obviously Dynamesh it. I'm exaggerating, but it's just such a different experience. Right. Something that's cool about his model, let's see if I can get it to work. Oh, it's separate. He's got ribs under here. That's a very specific character box of chocolates to make in 30 minutes. I don't think that one's going to be super possible for me. Not that quick. So today we are about 4 or 5 minutes away from wrapping up this character, or at least this exploration. This one is kind of more like an experiment, really, right? We tried to do something. It kind of worked. It kind of failed. That's our fail. Move on to the next one. So if anybody has more suggestions on next characters, let me know. Next types of characters, creatures. Creatures are always easy. Themes are easy. Specific characters with backstories are hard. A character with a character. I feel like that proportion works better. feel like this one would be better if it was like, this is just a bust. Just because sometimes doing the whole character is so hard. Just time-wise, like how much time you need to spend on every section of the body. Sometimes you're spending, you know, trying to do a character, a lunge crunch. If you've never done a lunge crunch, I would super highly recommend you doing lunge crunches. Lunge crunches are basically what I'm doing right now. You know, where you're trying to sculpt something fast with an idea as fast as you can. They're great to learn techniques and speed and work on how to get faster if that's a goal or something that you're trying to work on. It can also force you to be loose because you can't work or you can't make anything of real interest if you're moving slow in a lunch crunch, because by the end of the 30 minutes or an hour you will have nothing. So it can be nice to just break it up, try other things. Can I make a fat character? Can I like to see a character who looks like a dragon? You love the pattern, thank you. This one kind of, like, I feel like if I had, you know, a couple hours on this one, it would be better. But not terrible for 30 minutes. Obviously, got to credit Zach for the great model to start from. Because that's where all this is coming from. I didn't sculpt that. I just moved it around. Xanathar D&D type character? That's a good question. Oh, we could do this real quick. Let's see. Do a beholder. Nobody knows what a beholder is. There's a whole section in how to roll a beholder. Well, that's what we'll do for the rest. Gotta find it. We're at time here, so we're gonna go to the next one. We're gonna make a character from D&D for the next one. We're gonna make a beholder, in case you don't know what a beholder is. It's the eyeball monsters. If you've ever seen one of these, it's what it is. And I'm looking for the book. So everybody just looking for the right thing. Sources. Volo's Guide to Monsters. Beholders. So this is what we're making. And here, this is one of the D&D books. You basically can roll the types. It gives you a prompt. So what body size is it? What skin color is it? What's the texture of the skin? What's the eye color? What's the iris shape? What's the eye sizes? What's the eye stalk texture, the eye stalk shape? So we'll just do a quick one of these, and we'll run through that. So we'll do the whole thing. Now, this is going to be the easiest starting mesh to choose, because, as you can probably assume, we're going to start with a ball. Maybe we'll just make this one the rest of the hour. I'm going to delete my high resolution. We're going to come in here. Put this on this side. Switch to this view. Put it in the middle. Body diameter. Chat, it would be helpful if somebody can help me remember these because I don't have a pen and paper. But I do have a bunch of dice. So we'll roll some of these. All right, we need to roll 2d6. All right, we're going to do a 2 and a 3. That's a 5. So the body diameter would be 5 feet. The skin color would be at a 9, which would be bluish purple. So let's just quickly come in here to our ball. It seems to have wanting. Oh, it's because it's trying to autosave this giant project now. Some of those files I loaded are huge, like really big. So I'm trying to get it to stop. There we go. All right, so we said bluish purple. Bluish purple. It's more purple than blue. Purple blue. Great. Color. Fill. 5 feet. Thank you very much. It's skin texture. I need to roll a d10. 6. Scaled. Ooh, interesting. Scaled skin texture. The eye colors will be another d10. It's at 0. It's a 10. So metallic. Roll a d6 for the color. Okay. 1. Red metal. Red metal eyes. Iris shape. Roll a d20. It's a 12. So we're getting a slit for the iris shape. The eye size was 2d6. I got a 1 and a 4, so 5, so normal eye size. Eye stalk texture, d6. Ridged, like an earthworm. Eye stalk texture, ridged. Eye stalk shape, roll a d4. It's a 2. Thin and short. All right. Interesting. Mouth shape, d6. It's a 3. Normal. Normal mouth shape and size. And then teeth shape, d10. 2. Thick and pointed. Thick and pointed. I like doing these kind of things. It's nice that all this stuff is here, obviously, but it just makes it kind of fun to start with. And we can kind of see what our beholder main will look like. And thank you very much for Mr. Dam236 from YouTube from doing that. Really appreciate it. All right, let's put this over here. I don't really need this right now. Is there any names? There's ideals, and we can go like along with all this stuff. Then they give us a list of names if we really want, but we'll see if that applies to us. All right, so we said 5 foot diameter. It's pretty big. Bluish purple, skin texture scaled. The eye stalks are going to be thin and short. Scaled texture, red metal eyes. Okay, let's do this. Eye size is normal. So we're going to first start by adding some subdivision. 1. They're basically a ball, so there's not like a ton that you can really do except for like start the mouth. Have you ever done like a mad ball or seen those before? It's kind of what they just look like. And then we'll say the eye is going to be here. So sculpt in a quick eye, or at least where the eye will go. And then we're going to come in and we're going to append, as you would probably expect, a sphere. The sphere I'm going to make smaller. And I'm going to put in the eyeball socket. This one, the eyes are going to be red, so I'm going to block out that red. And they're also going to be metal. So I can see if I can find a good metal that will work for them. That's kind of interesting. Chrome? Nope. ZBrush doesn't have the most amazing metals. That's okay though. We'll run with that. M color fill object. Now we'll jump back to the other one we were using for this. Oh, I forgot to do the color. MRGB. Go back to this. Color fill object. See if I can maybe get a little more red to start with. So this is our first starting point. The teeth were shipping thick and pointed, so I'm gonna have to sculpt a mouth. We'll go just kind of push like a cavity in here, and I'll get some teeth here in a minute. We can try to grab the teeth from one of these people, but I think I deleted it. So we'll just make our own. Look how happy they are. So excited to be created, this creature. You can see they're already written down. No worries at all. Appreciate the offer for help. Alright, that's a good start. I could pull them all out, which I'm considering. The downside of pulling them all out is I won't be able to make one and then bring it across, right? That's obviously a problem. So what I'll probably end up doing is sculpting one in the middle in symmetry, and then bringing that over and putting it in a bunch of different places. All right. Turn this metal off for now. Doing like an angry eyeball has always been weird to me, just the fact that you could do this shape. It works, and but it's just kind of odd. But it's like a very specific shape. Oh, that was like a nice eyebrow. Just a sec, I'll get some teeth going, but I want to get some more structure in here before I do anything too crazy. Boulders don't really need cheekbones, which is interesting because cheekbones are there to have eye sockets. So I guess they have to have like one. Would they have one big bone? I've never in my life debated or actually considered what the anatomy of a beholder would be, and I think I'm going through a little bit of a journey right now trying to figure out what that would be. I can also adjust this color. Oh, I have two colors. Oh, it's because it has different materials. That's fine. We'll run with it. I kind of like that there's two colors. Give this a little bit more texture. Apparently I'm painting with color. That's why. So we're going to have to fix that in a minute. We said it was scaled, like the character's scaled, right? That's what we had rolled. Just give it a little bit of texture on the whole thing. This color more, but I think that's because it's using a different material. This material. So first I'm going to go in here, I'm going to just fix this really quick. Color, fill. Alright, what I can do now is I'm just going to come in here and mask this. I could do it maybe one subdivision level higher. I'm going to do it on the top and then the bottom, but I'm going to do an extract and just hit OK. And then I'm going to go to the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing. This is basically going to give me a base mesh right where I need it for the teeth and the gums. Obviously it doesn't look great, I'm aware of that, but it does give me a nice poly group that I can mask. Put this white so I'm sculpting on something I can tell. That way I have like basically gums. That's where these will go. Now, I don't know if the gums will be red, but we'll start with red just because it's kind of more classic. And the eyes, I guess, are supposed to be red, so we'll color pick that. That is extremely red. So we'll start with that, and we will do RGB color, fill, fill. This one has a mask on it. Color, fill. Then what I can do is just go into each of these and basically push it into the mesh. This one as well. Push it inside. I can adjust these later if I need to, but this is like where the gums will go. And I have that color now, so if I can also want to, I can just go ahead and color the inside of the mouth, meaning I can color pick this, select this object here, and just do this. Or I can also come in here with some black and say like this is where we won't be able to see. We do need a tongue, so let's get a tongue in there. I'm going to take this eyeball, I'm going to duplicate it, I'm going to move it down and turn off its color. I feel like it needs like a drop of the hot tongue. Right now it's red and shiny, which we'll do in a minute. But we're going to come in here and fill it with this and that color. So we're going to do MRGB color fill object. That way, whatever we're sculpting in, it is that color. All right. Getting teeth, like getting everything kind of set up in this kind of a sculpt is sometimes a bit of a chore. because there's so many little pieces to make. You're going from scratch. And this is actually why I recommend the lunch crunch, doing lunch crunches. They're really great for this type of work, to practice this type of work. Just don't get into the habit of feeling like you always have to sculpt something in 30 minutes, though. It's fun. It can definitely be fun to do, but don't feel like it's like the requirement. That is not the truth. And almost nobody, I'll say almost guaranteed, nobody in the production, in any production environment, is whatever you see on screen didn't take them 30 minutes or an hour. Probably took them months. Right, so now that I have this, I can kind of come in here, sculpt a little bit more. Obviously I need to get some teeth, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this eyeball yet again, just because it's right in the middle. It's already right scale, and I'm going to duplicate it and move it down. I'm going to shrink it. That's a good size. I'm going to take it into be this kind of whitish color, RGB. I'm going to clear it of the color it has. Let's do our clip curve. And let's go ahead and throw a Dynamesh on that. It does feel like the bottom of this can go forward. It's pretty severe underbite here. The single-toothed monster. Pull as short, and does it say thick and pointy? Is that what it was? I don't have that one. I think it was thick and pointy. Yeah, teeth thick and pointed. I feel like this is way too. I feel like it's gonna be like this, like a shark maybe. We'll come in here and adjust this later. I'm gonna get all these set up. It's gonna look like a Muppet at first. It's gonna look a little bit weird. Full disclosure. Hello, welcome to the stream. For everybody that's just joining, we're sculpting a beholder that we used a randomized table to give us a prompt today. We sculpted a few other creatures, which were suggestions from the chat. Right now we're getting some base meshes in for some teeth. This one, great. We're going to flip it, or mirror it, excuse me. Merge. Got a little bit of a gap there. That's okay. That's looking okay. I probably will do a second row of the teeth because I do like the shark teeth idea. But I'm going to need to, before I do this kind of a thing, I want to actually sculpt the teeth. so that when I mirror it back, it makes more sense. But what I am going to do is I'm going to do another mirror. This time I'm going to do it on the y-axis, and I'm going to pin it as a new subtool. That's going to put it up here. It's not intended to be a crown. It's actually going to be the lower set of teeth. Anytime you have to show a monster's teeth or a character's teeth, it always feels really weird, like extremely weird, sculpting the character for a while because you're sculpting them without like a very key feature of the creature. And so it really does feel like you're sculpting like a puppet, like a Muppet or something from Sesame Street. Jim Henson. Do you know there's like 52 seasons of Sesame Street? It's insane. It's pretty cool actually though. All right, that's a good start. All right, so we got 40 minutes. We need to do a scaled character here. I'm going to try to get a little bit more shape in here. It is a difficult shape to sculpt and make look interesting because it's a ball. It's a ball. There's not a lot else to say there. But it is kind of fun. Ooh, here's a good question, Chad. I need some help on this one. I need some reference for the mouth. I'm going to try to do like a little bit of a smile. Who would you pick to do a voice acting job? Could be a professional, celebrity, doesn't have to be a voice actor, pro. Who would you pick to be a beholder if they were like the big bad in some fantasy thing? Used to binge Sesame Street. Heck yeah, who didn't? I got tons of love for Sesame Street. Anthony Hopkins, Alex F1, excellent choice. So far, top choice for voice of a beholder, Anthony Hopkins. Johnny Boy, this looks like a Zelda boss. Well, yes, that's probably true. We gotta add all the little eyes though. This is a D&D boss. You know, D&D came before Zelda. Just saying. Joe Pesci. Ooh, that's a good one. I like Joe Pesci. Can you imagine Joe Pesci as any fantasy character? Has Joe Pesci ever been in fantasy? He doesn't strike me as somebody who would have been. Specifically looks like a Hinox from Zelda. Let me see. Like this? Yeah, okay, I see that. All right, we're gonna get some more detail in here in a little bit. Get some more character into this sculpt before we add all this stuff to it. So far we got Joe Pesci, Anthony Hopkins, the Hellboy dude. Do you mean Ron Perlman? Like the guy that played him? Or do you mean the most recent iteration of Hellboy with David Harbour from Stranger Things? Because they're very different. I love a Ron Perlman, don't get me wrong. Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson would be fantastic. Jack Nicholson would be great. Agreed. Ron Perlman. Yeah, I think you're talking about Ron Perlman. Just still imagining Joe Pesci. Let's get into some of these teeth real quick. I'm going to smooth them. Just going to do this. I'm also going to go to my move topological brush and turn off symmetry. That means I can use really large brush shapes and sizes. It's all still one mesh, but I can kind of adjust these as I see fit. I'm also going to create a kind of a front plane to all of them, like a shark. And because there's going to be other textures, we still got to scale the whole character, and we need to make an eye stalk. So we got a lot of work to do in half an hour. Oh, I love Joe Pesci so much. He kind of took a big break from acting. I think his last thing was in Irishman. But the amount of times I've seen Joe Pesci in Home Alone and Home Alone 2 is insane. I loved that movie when I was younger. Those movies when I was younger. See, I could have probably and should have probably done that before I went to the bottom. You see it's got a little bit more depth. I could still do that. I still might. But let's go BMT. They were short and pointed. That's what it called for. That's what we have, short and pointed. If I wanted to, I could go like extra detailed and like put a little bit of that like serrating that you might see on like a shark. At least for the time we have. I can do that. Let's see what that looks like. That's probably worth doing. That's probably worth doing. And then we'll just sculpt the top and we'll replace the bottom again. Trying to find the right brush size for this for it to really work quick. Joe's hard to top. Yeah, Joe's incredible. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm feeling like I know it wasn't Joe. Who was opposite in the Mario Brothers movie? First off, does anybody remember the Mario Brothers movie? Who was opposite John Leguizamo? I can't remember. But I would have loved to have seen Joe Pesci as Mario in that movie. Bob Hopkins. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I remember Dennis Hopper's in that as Bowser. And I remember a couple weeks ago there was all the everybody was so upset about Chris Pratt being Mario. I really don't understand the hate, but all right. That's enough for that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to pull it back, holding down control. not want to do. Does not want to cooperate. What we'll do is we'll just duplicate it once. Duplicate, move it back. BMT. So now we have 2. We'll just do a couple of these adjustments. So that they're not like exactly behind it. Should feel a little bit better. Just so that there's a little bit more detail there. Then I'll merge it down. So this one and this one are going to go together. I'm going to hit merge down. Oops, that's visible. Merge down. Great job. I'm going to come in here now and mirror it on Y. Appending is a new subtool. Beautiful little tiara we've discovered. These. This is the one I don't want anymore, and I can delete that. And now we have some teeth. The bottom teeth look way worse than the top teeth because we're seeing all of them. So now to quickly adjust that, we'll come in and sculpt some gums. We're going to make the gums the same mesh. 3 subdivision levels, 3 subdivision levels, merge down. Yep. Great. So just come in here. Hide the body. Hide that ball. The people will make it come to life. Absolutely. Yeah, we're just kind of getting all this stuff in so that when it does come to life, it's not as humorous, I guess is the right word. Because this is one of those characters where as soon as it pops, I think it'll work, but it takes a little bit of time to kind of get it there. Because it is just kind of a joke of a character. It's a ball with 9 other eyes on it, with 1 giant eye, and that's really it. And a giant mouth. I think that a lot of the D&D monsters are kind of like that, though. Like the owl bear. It's a bear and an owl combined. Some of these teeth on the bottom could get a little love, but that's okay. Do that in just a momento. Trying to block this out as fast as I can. They're a little too perfectly lined up is my problem with it right now, in case you're wondering. Let's get this in there. Let's turn this on. Select the teeth, and now I'm going to use my Move Topological Brush, sometimes known as the toothbrush. And just move these around, just give them a little shifting. Great. This one specifically, I want to just like spin one of them so they're not exactly like the same angle. Show that eyeball again, and then let's give it a little bit more love on the texturing side in a second. Let's get this long. Let's make this tongue longer. Trying to get like that little bump in the tongue. I'm gonna do a couple different strokes to do that. Ooh, that doesn't look terrible though. back into the face really quickly. 25 minutes, gotta get moving. All right, let's color this a little bit. Let's go back into our spray brush we were using before. And we're gonna use a black. You have to keep sculpting or the voices get loud. It's like you're reading my mind, yes. Oh, that's interesting. What if the middle... Turn this down. Let's get like a little bit of orange. And like orange but bright. I want that there, but not behind that. I can go to my, I think it was, we were doing this a couple weeks ago. Brush. Modifiers. No. Alpha and texture, poly paint mode. I think I want colorize. There we go. Mike Wazowski. That's right. Mike Wazowski was probably designed after a beholder. Now we have this eyeball though, so we can use this eyeball and all these other eyeballs that I have to make. Alright, so we gotta make this mouth really quick and we need to make it not look like crap because mine is not looking that great. First, I think I'm gonna give a little bit of texture to the overall thing. I need to scale it all, which was part of the design brief. So I'm gonna save this because Josh, you've been bad. You haven't saved this one at all. So let's go to your desktop real quick and just say beholder. Great. All right. Quick adjustment, quick adjustment. I don't like how this mouth is reading. Obviously our gums are shooting through here. We don't really want that. Do you have like lips? Like a humanoid lip? You wouldn't have a nose to create that bridge. curl up there. Just need some surface noise here, and then we're gonna do scales, I promise. All right, let's do our scales. And we save. All right, we're gonna go into our brush palette in Lightbox, brushes. There's a whole scales section, so we're gonna try out a couple of these. Scales B. Those don't seem to do what I want. C. That is interesting. Needs to be turned way down. More than that. Interesting, usable, probably going to use that for the stocks. So remember C for the stocks. Let's add a couple subdivisions to this. That is doing a different, I don't think that's a scale. E. I think I need to play with some of these settings because right now I'm not getting a lot. Fish scales. Okay. Scale fish. Now this is more like scale. This is like a tiny little scale. I think this is kind of what might be interesting. Almost like a little dragon scale. That was fish scales. Is that what this was? Scales fish 2. Scales fish B. Ooh, I like that one more though. Okay, we'll probably run with scales fish B. Scales lizard. Okay. Snake. That's not bad. Snake 2. Alright, we're going with the B. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to make tiny ones here. Really tiny ones around the eyeball. Much bigger ones on the body. But I do want to have a couple patterns using the smaller scales. I can probably create some form of like a pattern where there's like a big thing. And we still have to decide where all these eyeballs are going to come from, because there's supposed to be 9 other eye stalks. There's 8 other eye stalks. All right, 15 minutes, everybody. 15 minutes. I got to make 8 eyes. Try to wrap this character up. It's going to be a quick one. The pressure is mounting. Can't go too big, otherwise it doesn't look good. So I'm having to kind of cover this whole character fast I can. I like that the iris coming out though. That'll probably use in the future. Alright. Scales. Do I need those? I feel like we could do like a quick D. Was that the one I liked? see it like a lower intensity was like a good way to just like make some texture. Just put some of that there. Not necessarily the texture that I want, but it's texture that needs to be, there needs to be a texture there. So this gives something. Kind of pull them with this, which is kind of interesting. All right, let's do the quick eye stock. So I'm going to do a tube, B, curve, tube. Duplicate, lower res, delete higher, delete lower, tubes. There it is. Now they're supposed to be short and thin, which is probably my least favorite choice that we could have had. A little bit of like shape. Smooth. Just pulling out some tricks, you know. Sometimes you gotta move fast. It's a little obviously symmetrical. I would love to break that, but due to the fact that I have 10 minutes to complete this, I don't know if I can. So I'm going to take this now. I'm going to subdivide that. I'm going to come in here and just do very quick. It's supposed to be ribbed. I'm not going to do the whole character, but this is probably what they would be like. They were not. That's one where we're like, let's re-roll that. Is it this one? Nope. Seeing if there's a way to get this done faster. I think it was this one. But it might have to do. I need to position these so the eyes would look forward anyways. Give like the initial bumpiness of a little earthworm, because that's what they said. That's where all our eyeballs are going to go. If we get there, which I'm seeing we may, we'll do a quick paint job. Connection right now. Hi everybody. Sorry, looks like there was a weird glitch in the stream, in the Matrix. Anybody watch the new Matrix? If so, what'd you think? I wasn't a fan, I'll be honest. I'll give you my review first, I guess. All right, let's duplicate this eye. Turning this off. Looks like something's happening to the stream again. It was cool, but the story seemed a little compact. I agree. I was a little disappointed, to be honest. Just because I was, frankly, disappointed with the third Matrix. So it's like they're gonna redeem it. All right, we got 5 minutes. We can do a very quick paint job on this thing. Not the most time I would have wanted to spend on the body, but I think it's kind of working. We'll do a little last adjustments afterwards. Highlight the face and jaw maybe a little more. Go back to our paintbrush, color pick this. I'm going to choose that. I'm going to go a little darker, a little bit more purple. Said it was purplish blue. And that'll make it so that we can come in here, color, fill. And let's go to like a little bit of a darker More purple. That's kind of a pink. That's kind of cool though. I don't hate on it. Something feels off because it shouldn't be that color. It should be like black. I should be painting black. Oh, I'm in the polypaint mode. Brush. Polypaint mode. Aha! I was like, something feels wrong. I don't entirely know what it is. All right, everybody. Well, we're basically at time today. So we sculpted a couple different things today. I'll show you everything we worked on. We made a disgusting candy corn creature, a Candice here. We made a failed Windigo, but ended up being okay. And then we worked on our beholder for a while. I like the beholder. This middle one is a big experiment and a big fail, to be honest. Not my best work there, but it happens. Yeah, this one I'm kind of happy with, and this one I'm kind of happy with. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And thank you to the chat for helping me out with the noting down what we rolled when we rolled the table for this. That was pretty fun. So thank you for that. Yeah, and that's going to actually be it for the stream, everybody. If you've never seen the stream before and this is your first time attending a Gnomon stream, first off, thank you for joining. We will be doing a lot more streams in the upcoming month and year ahead. So we have Tuesdays, we have some streams. Wednesdays, we have this stream, and then Friday, we have a stream. So this coming Friday, we have a new stream called Voice in the Hollow. That is with Gnomon instructors Miguel Ortega and Tran Ma. They will be creating a short film, basically from scratch over the next 6 months. And this will be the production diary where you get to watch them create the short film over 6 months. So last stream was the first stream. So if you want to go back and watch that, you're welcome to. Or you can tune in this Friday. It's from 4 to 6 p.m. where they will be talking about that. Otherwise, we have Tuesday mornings. We have Archetype where I will be working on other characters. Characters like this is the character that I'm working on now, the caregiver. And, we'll be working on a bunch of other fun stuff in that. And then Tuesday nights, so last night was Creature Corner with Jared Grishevsky, which was a pretty fun one where they make a bunch of creatures, him and Matt Millard as a guest kind of co-host. So tons of cool stuff. We also have a bunch of great events and info sessions and stuff about Gnomon if you're interested in classes, curriculum, admissions, all that fun stuff. But otherwise, like, follow, subscribe, see more of this stuff. And if not, that's fine. Hopefully tune back in for another stream, and we will see you soon. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for the stream. I'm going to cut it here. Thank you all very much. Have a good evening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.